This is Drew, the MTBr of SoCal. I normally do short videos on my MTB rides in various parts of Southern California. However, I want to do a short vid on this SJ8 Pro that I recently picked up. Now this thing goes with me everywhere on my rides, and it's worked wonderful. However, there's a small bug that I discovered that will actually freeze the whole entire camera, and there's nothing you could do about it unless you take the battery out, put the battery back in, and then run a firmware, whether that's one that is up to date or an older version. So I reported this to SJCam support, and they did indeed confirm that that is a bug and that they will be issuing a firmware for it, which hasn't arrived. So let me walk you through how I discovered this. So being a great cam, it comes with a slew of options. So let's see if we can zoom in here a bit. And hopefully we could see that there. So, oh, and actually I'm in the wrong one. So let's go to here. So the two options in question is the gyro stabilizer and the color profile. So the stabilizer is a pretty obvious one. That's the internal stabilization. And the color profile gives you two options, vivid and flat. Vivid is great, but I feel that it's a bit saturated. So more times than not, I prefer flat. So, but in fact, actually, let me go back. But as you can see, it's an option that can't be selected. The reason being is on the stabilizer, if that's on, then by default, it's set to vivid and you cannot switch out of it. Rather, let me correct myself. If the stabilizer is on and the color palette is set to vivid, you can't switch out of it. However, if you turn off the stabilizer and we go back to the color profile, you could then switch it to flat. Now here's the problem with this, is if you switch it to flat and then you go back to the stabilizer and turn this on, get out of the profile, everything seems to work fine until you power it off and you attempt to power it back on. And then we have, voila, utter freeze. Nothing works. You can't scroll. You can't exit. You can't do anything. In fact, you can't even power it off. So the only thing left to do is literally to take the battery out and hopefully you have a firmware installed on your micro SD card. If not, plug it into your computer, put in the latest firmware, plug it in, and start her up. Now, at this moment, I don't actually have a firmware package on that SD card, so I can't actually show you that. But once you boot this up, it will automatically boot into the firmware and then reinstall itself, and then it's back to normal. Of course, it will wipe out all your settings that you had previously set, but I mean, that's fine. At least you have a working camera. So bottom line is you can't have the stabilizer on and the color profile set to flat, otherwise it freezes. So if you want the stabilizer on, you gotta set the color profile to vivid, which I suppose it's fine, but the problem with vivid is it's hard to correct that in a video editor. That's why I prefer the flat. So that was the quick review on this SJ8 Pro by SJCam. Thanks for watching, guys.